range is going to be problematic, especially in the early game.
Yeah, maybe not the Joy. So it's gonna be the Hayabusa.
Bumblebee reporting for duty.
Oh!
Ah, okay, there we go.
All right, not bad. Not bad.
That slipped my mind. But yeah, that's actually a perfect pick. You're up against a tanky jungler. You have a lot of dive against the opposing team. However, does Xborg have enough of a tanky front line to actually help him out? Because with the Lapu-Lapu and the Kalea, we know there are times where Kalea actually just goes down very quickly, even though she can catch. This might put pressure on the Xborg to frontline a little bit more, which you don't really want to do. So it's up to Omega to how to execute this so that the Xborg, Lapu, and Kalea are all on the same page.
Yeah, it feels more like an in and out lineup here if you think about it.
Yeah.
They're not going to be lasting in the front line that long, but they will try to recoup and then go back to the fight once more. This is going to be the lineup here. I don't know what if you guys are thinking about this one. It does feel like Omega has covered all the bases, and APBR again, very close range and being very late game centric here with that Moscow.
I think it's pretty surprising to see that APBR did not opt to go for any Purify spells though. They're literally backing on being aggressive
Mobile
as
Legends.
well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Omega rather. They did not pick up any Purify spells, not even with the presence of an Akai, not even with the presence of an Arlot and the Gaton Acha. So they might be actually playing this very aggressively.
That and they might be subscribing to the thought that, you know what, instead of just cleansing it, let's sidestep it. Let's force them to change their positioning and make them dive a little bit deeper into our formation by flickering away. Looking at the emblem sets, nothing too crazy across the board, pretty standard overall.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, Super Yoshi's gonna have a bad time here. So many Purifies on one side means that you're just gonna have a hard time catching anyone, even if you hit level 4 right away. So they might have to play around those Purify timings very well. Otherwise, risk getting run over by this beefy lineup from APBR.
Yeah, picking whoever you want to set up using the Tsunami Slam is gonna be quite difficult too. Aqua and Shizu are the players with both the Purify spells, and I'm not sure if you want to bring in James Panks closer to Smart Omega or not even Lord JM. So it'll be very important that Super Yoshi times and uses this Tsunami Slam on the right target later on.
Yeah, earlier damage profile seems to be better for Omega right now, but of course for APBR, they have the raw sustain that can help them survive. Don't forget, Akai has built-in shields into his kit. James Panks still able to get the last hit there onto the EXP. And then you also have the Revitalize coming in for X-Nova. No Revitalize on the side of Omega. Nesky having a hard time laning against Shizo. Much more confident. He's a silent kid.
Yeah, I think he was a bit too deep in that particular fight, but APBR might be the first ones to set up for this Turtle Horizon, though is still here nonetheless, dealing some damage as well as the export. This is exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah.
He is seemingly being the front now, but that did not land. That final slash did not connect, and it will be punished instead. Lord JM will be the first to fall. That's heavy spin coming in from James Panks, and that will allow him to secure that Turtle. It's a double kill for Horizon, however, so they trade things out.
Okay, that was a little bit of a mess here coming in from APBR. Omega capitalized so beautifully after that, after the fact as well.
Yeah, however, James Panks showing why Akai is a great option in the jungle. Just heavy spin under everything. You really do not care. You can just go ahead and Retribution there. But yeah, Lord JM needs to tighten up his timing a little bit more. He was way too early and too eager with that final slash flicker. He also burned the flicker for that.
Ooh, now that you bring that up, that's a lot of resources being used, and that might be the opening that Omega has to maybe just make sure they can reel in this mid-game.
Yeah.
Wait, did Ryzen?
Yes, invade. Great call, actually, but Ryzen might get caught out here.
Okay, Fraga Armor already gone. That's the AOG. Doesn't land onto Ryzen, however, and James is doing such a great job at zoning as well. There's the heavy spin, however, coming in from James Panks. Will Super Yoshi be able to provide the right amount of support, or will he be caught as well? That's the last Insanity copied by Aqua, and they actually get the kill for themselves.
Man, Aqua was holding on to that last Insanity. I thought he'd use it on Ryzen, but he was saving it, and now APBR will continue to invade into the jungle of Omega, making it even harder for this Xborg to farm.
Definitely not the Valentino ult that Omega was expecting for sure this time around, and that's APBR with a little bit of a surprise factor, getting them a bit of a lead. Again, small margins here, really are the big difference maker,
Yeah.
especially in that gold lane that we're looking at. The goal difference here is very, very close.
Yeah, apparently the entire idea of AP Bren being too melee in terms of their lineup isn't something they're letting themselves be limited by. They're
Yeah.
just being so aggressive with this entire concept, and it's not that smart. Omega are able to find ways to work around it either.
Yeah, this is what we mentioned with the lineup of AP Brand, that the aggression that they have, they can invade, they can consistently harass, get information. So they're taking conditions, and they needed to do that because at the end of that, James Banks still did not walk away with a purple buff. Ryzen walked away with 2, even though that meant that his orange buff was taken away from him. There's a better steal and buff secure for Omega. Now Ryzen, though, needs to be careful because AP Bren are close.
Oh, James goes in together with Super Yoshi. Last Insanity, though, who will get the turtle? It's still going to be James back. Super Yoshi will fall as well. James trying to run away. Haji using the feathered airstrike. There's a flicker coming in from James, but they won't be able to find a trade. AP Bren, what a clean take.
These points, these last insanities are really making it so hard for these players to actually find their targets.
Yeah.
Actually, I was a little surprised. I was confused whether that was like Aqua or Ryzen. Either way, it can really mess up the timing here, and I don't think Omega is dealing with it very well.
Yeah, I mean, we did acknowledge, even though this X-Borg was one of the last best picks that Omega could have gone for there, it really was just, it's running with a lot of risks, especially since you have a lineup built so that the X-Borg actually needs to front, meaning that he'll be taking the initial brunt of damage, which makes his window of using that last Insanity even smaller. As we look at the items, Dreadnought armor is already locked in for the 2 junglers. No full item secure. Oh, excuse me, already the anti-Karas, but the X-Borg shouldn't be too far from that. For the 2 gold laners, still waiting for the full item build on the Matrix. So, okay.
Right.
AP Bren, instead of deciding to commit that, they realized they missed some key abilities and just backed off instead.
Yep. They're going to want to hold on to that and wait so they potentially could get another successful take on the next turtle, because they've taken 2 turtles already for themselves now.
Yeah.
Wow, look at these 2 XP laners down
Very
below.
solid movements.
Wow.
I love seeing those. Obviously, the 1-for-1s, we're seeing them play essentially what we'll see them later on, very in your face rather. And I can't wait to see the full 5-man, honestly.
Okay.
That's all we're waiting for right now. 6.5 minutes into the game. Omega, they want that fight. They want to be able to use these heroes. But for the meantime, it does feel like Netsuki does need more items to actually get into fighting form.
Yeah, better positioning right now, though, for Omega for this objective. Of course, you're going to be expecting the SOD to come in. Good thing James Banks decided to move forward alongside Aqua to hold the forward shrubs, which means Omega need to win a play.
Wait, they force a reaction from Lord JM. Shizu takes the turret down bottom instead, though, but James Banks, he has his eyes set on Ryzen. Gets cancelled out by the Tsunami Slam. However, there's the OMG X Nova right now.
Lord
He's
JM.
isolated all by himself, but it's James Banks who's targeted by Ryzen all over again. He's saving that last Insanity over and over again for this hero.
In the bottom lane, though, you see Shizo splitting the map.
Oh my god.
Yeah, James Banks a little bit too eager to try and find Netsuki out of position. He actually was trying to chase after the Matrix to heavy spin him away. It looks like Omega's going to get this turtle.
Okay, James trying to go for Aqua again. Using
SOD.
the spider. There's the feathered airstrike as well, but Shizu and Lord JM, they're holding on to this turtle. Somehow, Ryzen still gets the retribution, however, and they're trying to chase after Lord JM and Shizu. Bennett's Rage finally takes down Lord JM, and that's gonna be it for now.
That was like almost a 2-minute team fight all across the map, and they don't show any signs of slowing down. X-Nova propping it and getting ready for the defense. They're going to be able to clear, but man, oh man, I think Omega took AP Bren there for a ride.
Yeah, AP Bren again started off with James Banks a little bit too... He was too greedy, trying to go after Netsuki. I'm gonna be honest.
No other way to say it.
Yeah, no other way to say it. It ruined the formation of that AP Bren actually had, and it was a good one. Omega also caught AP Bren off guard, but the problem was they actually, gotta say, wrong target. They were a little bit too eager to go after Lord JM, but the fact that it looks like AP Bren didn't go alongside James Banks and weren't completely all right with his call to try and chase after the Matrix, it meant that AP Bren's formation just got ruined, and Omega actually walked away with a big win in that fight.
Yeah.
Both gold laners still very close in terms of the gold. Malefic Gun and the BOD already locked in by Netsuki, while Shizo does have the Corrosion Sight and the Golden Staff.
So that wasn't just me, right? That felt so disjointed
Yeah.
for AP Bren. I was
Exactly.
going to ask you guys, what happened here? Is something wrong with this matchup, with this engagement they're doing? They they did look super confident coming into it.
Yeah.
But then again, it bought so much time. Shizu did get towers on the bottom. Maybe that's where the comms were busy with.
Yeah.
But again, it didn't look stonks. And because of all of that, we are back on even ball game in terms of gold.
I mean, James Panks probably thinks that Netsky has to be the target for Smart Omega because he's the marksman who joins the fight. Because as we saw, it's Shizu who gets to do a lot more things on his own as expected from a Moskov, but Smart Omega, it does feel like they're trying to make it work with Netsky together with them as long or as much as they can whenever there's a team fight that breaks out. So when that happens, James Panks, it does seem like he just has his eyes set on Netsky, but he has to be careful to not do that same mistake which happened earlier.
He did acknowledge that last season he was scared to make mistakes. Now he promised to the Bees that he'll be less hesitant to commit plays. And you know what? I'm a little bit more, I'm okay with that. Yes, that was clearly a mistimed call, but it's not at the end of the world. It's still a very close game in terms of the gold. If in an alternate universe or maybe in the next sequences, if James Panks actually gets Netsky, then the tone of the storytelling is going to completely change, and James Panks is going to look like a superstar with being able to couch out the Matrix.
Yep.
And overall, it feels like, Shizu, you could argue that Shizu actually got the mission completed.
Yeah, exactly.
He got 2 towers on the bottom, and that equalized the gold. It's just a small mix-up like that obviously will give Omega that short leeway, and you don't want to give Omega anything at this point.
Wait, Ryzen doesn't have his immortality yet, but they're still gonna go for it. James already going in, but that's a beautiful taunt onto Haji from X-Nova. James Panks using the heavy spin on Ryzen once again, doesn't have the Faraga anymore, and Shizu just planting all those free hits, but look at Aqua! SOD doesn't land, but that was a perfect last insanity, forcing away all the members of Smart Omega, and Shizu just goes after them, doesn't get to catch Haji. No, I take it back! It's a triple for Shizu!
The silent kid with a play heard around the world. And just when we were talking about it, not the end of the world for AP Bren. This time it was Omega who got caught sleeping. Haji, I don't know why he used that feathered airstrike right in front of a Gato Kacha.
So early as well, like very early on in the fight, that positioning was punished hard. And I was like, oh, so that's what they were trying to do earlier.
They were a bit too forward.
Way too
all
forward.
of them. And even Ryzen, I know he still had the Faraga armor and he had a way to get out of it once you lose the Faraga armor, but he was in a spot that could still get easily pinned down by the heavy spin nonetheless, and the duration of the heavy spin is no joke. It was still able to catch up after the last insanity, or after the Faraga armor went down.
Yeah, and now with a 5,000 gold lead, yes, it's only Lord 1, and it doesn't look like AP Bren doesn't have the minion waves right for them to throw bodies. They're still just going to try and get turrets. That Holy Shield is 100% going to get popped. If they cannot get the turrets here, then yeah, they're just going to be playing around, controlling the map, and then just playing the minion waves so that they can get the next Lord without a problem. Because the bad thing about Omega losing in that time is because now it pushes the lead to around 5k, closing into 6,000 at around the 12 to 13 minute mark. That is a moment in time where you do not want to be at a deficit that large.
Yeah, and folks, remember, this is from a 0 goal lead to 5k in one play. And the wipeout as well, the boot, basically gave the whole map to AP Bren in one instant.
This Valentina by Aqua is becoming really terrifying as well.
Yeah.
Like the way he just keeps on picking up the last insanity. That last sequence we saw from Aqua was just so perfect as well. It was so well timed. It was in a spot that Smart Omega had no choice but to walk in a single direction or path to get away, and that made it just so much more easier for Shizu as well to catch up and deal the right amount of damage. And he's going to be a harder target to catch right now too, especially as he already has his hands on that Wind of Nature.
Yeah, good to see Aqua back in the Philippines. To the teams that almost got Aqua, but just for some reason something happened and that he wasn't able to join your team. Well, you guys missed out though. Aqua's still really good.
Yeah, he's making a big splash. Wink, wink.
Yeah, huge splash, huge impact.
So far, he's doing what the Valentina. Hold on though.
Oh my goodness, Haji! Gets cancelled! And look at the damage coming in from Shizu. He gets another double kill. Could have potentially picked up a triple only if Omega stayed a bit longer. But they're gonna respect AP Bren now. They have no choice but to respect them.
Yeah, Omega are crumbling right now. It seems like a few that's already 2 lapses in judgment by Haji. Feathered airstrike at the wrong spot. They're not clearing the vision in the key areas that AP Brent could be in. There seems to be a disconnect right now between Haji, Super Yoshi, and Ryzen in terms of just checking crucial areas so that they can get info to see if it's safe to use the Feathered airstrike. And now, it's bad, because AP Brent, they're gonna wait for 1410. Once that passes, they'll break it, then they'll wait for the next wave. AP Brent can win it in the next siege, closing in on 7,000.
Yeah, that's exactly how they do it. I'm super... Is this the... What do you call that? Is this a consequence of not picking up Purify on one of these heroes? Is their battle plan getting messed up over and over again, maybe?
I don't think it's the Purify. I mean, again, the Flicker, they decided to go with that. The reposition idea is good. It's just that repositioning from a very bad position is just already a tough call.
I know, you said position many times there.
No, exactly. When you're in a bad spot and you try to make the most out of it, usually you don't.
Yeah. It's best if you are in a decent spot, even if it's not the best.
Yes.
Because you're able
in the first
to
place.
at least put yourself in a better one after that. But if there's like no way out of wherever you put yourself in, then that's what we're seeing from Haji right now, and that's really dealing a lot of problems for Smart Omega.
Aqua.
At least they have some decent wave clear and defense. This is still a Farsa Beatrix that we're talking about, but they're syncing up the waves so well.
Yeah, beautiful sync up. Of course, decent wave clear still for Omega is available, so I don't think they'll suffer more than this. But yeah, we're seeing them slowly just getting bumped into their base. And you know, guys, when this happens, you know what's up. We know what's next.
Oh, that's the Tsunami Slam, punishing Lord JM. He finds himself under the turret. James doing a great job zoning, but has to flicker out to safety. Last Insanity committed by Aqua just to escape. And as you mentioned, they're able to hold on to their remaining 2 base turrets.
I don't think that could have gone significantly better for AP Brent, but I don't think it was just Omega just doing the right things there. AP Brent missed. It looks like they were scared to dive under that tower when Lord JM got picked. Yeah, there were minion waves that they needed to deal with, and with the tower being more than 50% health, it would have been risky. But I feel like they could have pulled the trigger on a play there. They would have lost 2, bringing the lead down to maybe around 4,000, but that isn't a bad loss. That would have been a trade. If 2 for 1, at most 2 for 2, and then that means it's still good for you.
Yeah.
That could have been actually game if they got free.
Yeah, I feel like they were too cautious there.
I mean, James also jumped in, so he got some attention from some of the members of AP Brent, but I feel like they could they could have been a bit more decisive. Maybe.
Yeah.
Even if it's just on James, because he was already in that spot. But either way, Ryzen's still trying to attempt to take this. Will successfully do so, but we have 30 seconds before this upcoming Lord, and the waves are going to be such a huge problem for Smart Omega.
Yeah, so that few seconds is going to be super crucial in this next one. We are talking about Omega. What is the comeback play here? What's it looking like for Ryzen as well, as well as Netsky? Netsky has not actually shown up all game long, running 0-1 on the Beatrix.
Yeah, the man is farmed up though. Like in terms of items, he's good. Don't have to worry about the damage he can dish out. They do have the true damage going around through Ryzen. Although Ryzen could have more items here, he had to go for a bit of a chop suey build to just chase raw physical and magic defense points. Now it doesn't look like AP Brent, or excuse me, Omega will actually be able to contest this healthily. They'll be forced to give it up. And you asked about the condition. The condition now for Omega is simple. Turn it around through defense.
At least they have some skills and some resources to bank on, but only if AP Brent weren't as hesitant earlier in this upcoming fight, it could go sideways for Smart Omega, because I feel like they tried their best to defend already earlier. Like they put James in the front a bit more. They had Ryzen to clear out the waves coming in first, and then Haji and Netsky just from a distance. They're most likely going to replicate that. But if AP Brent has a different plan in mind this time, it could go better for them.
Yeah, so this is take 2. Let's see what change they're going to do here. Right on front here is Lord JM. He's actually quite low.
Oh, but that's a nice stun coming in from James. And the flicker as well. James Pass already forced to use the heavy spin also.
What is happening here?
Okay, I think this is where I have to give Omega a little bit more credit. They are clearing up the mid-minion waves very well. That is difficult for AP Brent to actually pull the trigger in a tower dive in the mid or in the top. But at some point, It's a game of patience now because I also understand the hesitation of AP Bren. If they slip up, it's going to be a devastating loss. And we saw it from them and from multiple teams in the Philippines all across season 15. And they try to end it. It's 6,000 plus. It's the late game. Their tower's up. They dive. They think that they're okay. But you get it because the 6,000 gold lead at this point doesn't really matter because Omega are pretty stacked in items as well.
This is just what happens, right? We are in a point where everyone is on, what do you call that? Critical mass. Everyone's critical mass. Even if they're behind, it feels like everyone is on level. So they know that one slip-up could really snowball really badly. Netscape from 0-1 could easily turn 5-1.
Yeah. I've seen too many Beatrix users suddenly delete the opposing team.
And you're gonna get run over, basically, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So I guess those war flashbacks are happening right now for AP Bren.
Maybe.
That's happened to them so many times in the last season as well, where they were ahead by so much. And then they just lost the series altogether.
I think I'm going to give caveman analysis here. Throw bodies, hit tower. Bro, you can do it.
I think they can with Shizu just like so crazy right now.
Yeah.
I think they do have the power to do it.
Just James Bounce, Aqua, X-Nova, Lord JM just have this like promise of loyalty of like, we are all going to fall.
Yeah.
But that means Shizu just gets to lock the tower and we're okay and we win.
AP Bren together strong.
Yeah, AP Bren together strong.
That's the idea of their lineup, right?
It should be it.
Together.
Again,
strong.
I cannot doubt why they're. I can't understand why they're playing it so safely. But at this point, if you play safely all throughout the game, your opponent also reads that, and they can play around it.
Just go monkey, man.
Because we thought they were just so dive heavy. So it's weird to see them not diving.
Yeah, the problem is they've waited for so long that Omega, their 6K gold lead really doesn't matter now for AP Bren. Like, Omega can just turn it around already.
Come on, guys. Move. You gotta get that stick. You poke AP Bren, do something.
And now it's AP Bren who might actually do something. The final snap doesn't land though, and now that's the counter Tsunami Slam landed onto Lord JM, but the Fettered Airstrike is just being used, but gets cancelled for Jinfax. SOD will land as well. Shizu gets to find the hits onto James, but X-Nova and Aqua blocking the paths of the members of Omega who are trying to run away. That's an immortality pop for Super Yoshi, but James finds Aqua in exchange for Ryzen.
Okay, one for one trade. No jungle on the other side. AP Bren will be able to get this Lord without a problem. See, sometimes you just gotta go monkey. Just go for it.
Yeah, it looked really bad for a second, but then X-Nova was in front of Netsky. Netsky could not do anything, man.
Yeah, there are too many blade armors also on the side of AP Bren. Oh wait, Tsunami Slam.
They still want to go for it. Penetrate gets dodged. Lord J, what a beautiful usage of the Vengeance, and now Haji gets deleted. Shizu's godlike. Two-man stun coming in from Lord JM, and now they're just trying to run away, but Netsky has no way out. Gets to use the Wind of Nature, but that's not gonna save him. It's only Super Yoshi and James, and even Super Yoshi will fall. There's no need for a Lord. AP Bren, it's them finally running towards the base and trying to end the game. They'll pick up the kill onto James before doing so. And now, after 22 minutes, AP Bren secures game number 1.
When you